and we're trying to get a clearer understanding of coercive control, what it is and how widespread it is. Emma has called in. I know that's not your real name. Emma, thank you very much for taking the time and trouble to call. From your own experience, what can you tell us? How can we better understand coercive control?
Well, I think I'd like to echo what Rachel Williams has said. Rachel does know me through the support group that she has online, and it's actually been keeping me updated today on today's case. Bless her. So hi, Rachel. And I wanted to say I was in a 12-year abusive marriage myself that I'm still getting out of, and it wasn't until I got out of that marriage that I realised that I was in an abusive marriage, even though parts of it were really quite horrendous. As Rachel said, it's often people from the outside looking in and organisations that then somehow get involved in one way or another. I called the police for something related to it, who then brought me in and said, do you understand that you have been in an abusive marriage? And I broke down and was asked to list out things that I didn't think were right in the marriage. It took me a while to start writing. Once I started, I got to about list 150 on the list, and they stopped me and they said, right, this is going to take too long, and I just broke down. And I thought, oh my God, this has happened to me, and I didn't even realise. And that is coercive controlling behaviour, because they normalised your life like that, you know.
When you were there, when you were in the marriage, what would family and friends have thought of your marriage as they looked in from the outside?
Well, I knew that they didn't like him. They would tell you that. They knew that, I think they thought what I thought, that he was just not a very nice person sometimes. I knew that he had had a difficult upbringing, so I put a lot of it down to that. But quite soon into the marriage, a few years into the marriage, I was coerced into not having any contact with any of my family. My husband moved me and my children far, far away from anyone I knew to isolate us. I didn't get out of the house very often, and I was then not allowed to have anything to do with any of my family. I didn't see my parents, my brother, aunts, uncles, cousins at all. In any way, shape or form between 2012 and 2017, because I wasn't allowed, and he had convinced me that they were bad for me, that my parents had abused me as a child, and somehow he had convinced me that had been the case and that I was better off without them. So I was completely isolated, and I wasn't allowed to go out with friends as far as drinks and things like that. The only social aspect I had in my life was at the school gates when I dropped my children off in the morning and picked them up in the afternoon. So it was very short conversations with various mums in the playground.
What did you think of yourself at that time?
I thought it was completely crazy. He convinced me. He lied about his job. He pretended to be a particular medical professional throughout our marriage, and so he managed to convince me that I had lots of mental health conditions, which led me to refer myself to other medical professionals. And by the time the marriage ended, I was on about 5 different forms of medication, one being antipsychotic medication, antidepressants, diazepam, all sorts. I was drugged up to my eyeballs, wasn't thinking straight.
Did none of the health professionals you saw question this?
No, I told them that this is what I believed I had, that my husband was this professional person, and he told me that this is what I had, that we'd looked at symptoms together and decided that I must have it, and they took my word for it and just dealt out the pills. Luckily, my GPs took me off everything after I left and realised what had been happening, and I said, I think I've been in an abusive marriage, and I don't think I need these tablets. I've been off everything for 18 months now and never felt better. My head's never been clearer, so I know that I don't have these mental health issues. Sadly, there are some that are still on my medical records and probably will be until the day I die, because they're very difficult to take them back off. Easy to put them on, but very difficult to take them off. But at least I'm not seen as being mental by the health professionals, and I'm not seen as being mental by myself anymore, which took a long time to convince myself. Because I thought I was crazy for a long, long time. And I thought that he was the only one that could help me. He would tell me, "You're crazy, but don't worry, I'll help you. And I'm the only one who's here for you. I'm the only one who can help you." And that's how they trap you sometimes.
The last thing I want to do is to take you back to your darkest places, but I'm interested, and only tell me if you want to tell me. I understand if you don't want to. What was it took you to the police?
He forced me out of the family home and changed the locks so that I couldn't get back in. And so I was effectively homeless, and I dialed 101 to see if he was legally allowed to do that. Because although he never allowed my name to go on anything official like a mortgage or a rental property or anything like that, we were obviously married, and so I still felt that I had rights to the family home, and it was at that point where they said, right, is there anything else that he's done? And I said, well, he forced me out. He said that he would take full custody of the children if I didn't leave. And it was then they said, right, we're going to get you in and interview you, because I think there's more to this, and we think that you might have been abused.
Which is encouraging to hear, isn't it? Because we heard Rachel Horman tell the story of her client who was forced to eat her meals from a dog bowl every night, and the police said, "Well, come back when he hits you." So that's encouraging that the police were very helpful.
I did go and give a statement, and it did go nowhere. I think the lady who asked me to come in was really lovely, but the person who actually took the interview then said, "Well, he's not killed you or tried to kill you, so there's nothing we can do," and showed me the door.
Well, I take it all back.
That was where the police started and ended. But then Women's Aid got involved, and things went on from there, and so I did get help from other areas. But the police helped me open my eyes, but that was all they did. And they didn't do anything else, unfortunately.
Now, you mentioned that divorce proceedings are underway, and who can blame you? But in terms of the law, in terms of the criminal law, have you considered anything in that regard?
There's nothing I would be able to do.
Right.
I haven't got enough evidence. I didn't report things as they were happening. I didn't go to the police or any other organisations during the marriage. At the moment, I think that the law only covers you if you have evidence of being trying to get help during the marriage, because I know that there is a petition going around at the moment to change that, and so that people that have escaped the abusive marriage can then go back sometime later once they've cleared their heads and remembered a lot of things that you do forget during the marriage. Almost on a daily basis, I remember something new, and it's been 2 years now, to then be able to go back like a sex abuse victim can at the moment. But at the moment, that simply isn't really the case, especially if you can't prove any physical or sexual violence happened. With me, there was some physical and some sexual, but I have no way of proving that, unfortunately.
Just finally, Emma, we've focused on the horror. Tell me about life now.
Well, I've all but lost my children to him, so that's been really hard. He won majority custody of the children, and family courts didn't believe me and didn't find things as fact. But I know family courts are difficult, and they are very different to criminal courts. So that part has been hard, because I can't protect my children anymore while they're with him. But on the other aspect, all that aside, being able to go back to my own house and watch what I want on TV, go to bed when I want, eat what I want, when I want, not leave the washing up until the morning if I want to. It's amazing. It's that kind of freedom you can't buy. You can't buy.
Those are the simplest things you've just described.
Yeah, but I can do them now.
Emma,
it's great.
Thank you. you very much for taking the time to call us.
You're very welcome.
I can stay on the line if you like. Obviously, this is upsetting for you, and that's horrible. But we can stay and talk longer if you like, or if you're okay, we can pause. And I thank you so much for taking the time, and I hope that life continues to get better, and you're obviously taking pleasure in these small things that were denied you, and I hope it continues to get better, and that your access to your own children improves.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Thank you very much. Thank you for hearing my story.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
We'll talk more about this. It's 4:33 now. Here's Philip Chrissick.